Hi guys. It's been a while since I created a video about OCD back in May, and I wanted to create another one. Um, thank God I've learned so much. It's been awesome. I'm in an awesome place. Um, and I wrote a bunch of notes. I've been writing notes recently to remember what I want to say during the video, and I have them here in front of me. Um, So it can be difficult to talk about this because we're all different. We may have different degrees of OCD, and on top of that, we may, sometimes you have to realize you may be in a good situation in your brain. You know how sometimes I don't know if you've heard, um, among other people with OCD brain, or you're in that place. You know what I mean? Like me personally, sometimes I felt like a heaviness here, or like a feeling here in the front of my head and brain when I'm under the influence of OCD a lot. But you might be in a good situation. In a situation like that, you have to remember these things. So I'm going to give a lot of advice tonight, and just remember that sometimes just be graceful with yourself. Like don't beat yourself up if you fall one night, if you doubt, if you just don't let it. Like I said back in May in the first OCD video, don't fear. OCD thrives on fear, and don't beat yourself up. So in a you might be in a good mood or not, and I'm gonna be reading from my notes, by the way, and then maybe interjecting with thoughts and stuff. Also, at times I felt possibly like my brain was in a diluted state. It was weird. You know, and I don't know if that was I probably felt that when I wrote that note. I don't know if it's been multiple. I think it's been multiple times in the past that I felt that way. It's a weird. I don't know. How many of you guys can identify with that. If needed, wait those out, especially if you are in an anxious or OCD brain state, to reason and think afterward. Um, I wonder if a reason for us being the way we are is because the disorder we have makes us believe our feelings way too much. I would be interested to know how a normal person processes feelings, and if they can disengage with feelings easily, not believing them. And you couple that with spiraling and fear, which obviously people do with their themes, and or disgust, and you could see why it could be potentially devastating, why it is devastating. OCD, I mean, a lot of you guys know how bad it can get, and I've spoken with people in the past who I'm sure are going to be watching this video that know how bad a place I was in. I've spoken about it. I don't want to say it in a YouTube video, but so okay. Part of healing may be disassociating OCD with people, places, and things. I'm going to get to some great advice soon, but in your process of healing, recognize that sometimes we with OCD, obviously, we associate, that's a bad place, or that's a bad person, or that's a bad thing, and you start, when you get near that person or thing, it triggers you. In your healing process, you have to start healing from that. You have to keep mindful of that and recognize it's just a thought, it's just a feeling. Um, as of late, that's been helping me a lot, by the way, just recognizing that's just a thought. I'll get to that more later. When you are thinking something, uh, when you are thinking something, like about your theme, for example, and it happens to me not only about my theme, um, the opposite pops up into your brain. Don't feel the need to correct it, and especially don't get afraid. Just ignore and know. I put quotes around know inside of you. Be confident. Start working towards that mindset. Um, and by the way, I'm sure you guys, anyone watching this maybe has already watched the video from May. Please, if you have not, don't, go back and watch that first. It's my third video. Um, when you are thinking something and the opposite, oh, I think I put that twice. Okay. Also start recognizing your thought patterns, and behaviors outside of your theme. That helped me a lot a couple of months ago. I one of the things like was, for example, like physical feelings I'd get. I was so afraid of it because of my theme, and I started realizing that physical feelings were also happening for stuff outside of my theme. Be mindful of stuff outside your theme. Another time, also something, well, that involved a physical feeling too, but in general, start being aware of your how your brain reacts to things and how your emotions process. Just start being aware of yourself outside of your theme, and then when it happens in your theme, you're like, oh, okay, but that's something normal. I experienced it with something outside of my theme, so that can help you. Also, something I noticed from perhaps my youth is I would look at someone and think, yeah, and think negative thoughts about them, like they are evil or hiding something. This is something I think I wrote either today or yesterday. Like, I wonder where this is from. I wonder if it's like a cynical mindset, a doubting mindset, which feeds into OCD, or if it's from the OCD itself. Because I'm not sure if this started in childhood or in my teens. So, you can recognize OCD stuff outside of your theme easily. And I'm going to get to something also that helped me a lot in having a confident mindset soon, also. Okay, so my YouTube video I made in May, watch it please. I said that. And know that a big part of overcoming OCD and the weird thoughts, feelings that come is from trusting. It depends on your theme, what it is. So I put trusting God. I needed to do that. I've needed to do that a lot. Knowledge, if you have something, a theme that involves, like, you have to know about something, study it scientifically, look into it. And a firm decision that you have made in the past based on reputable knowledge you have acquired, such as evidence based, science based, etc. So you need to take a firm stance. It's so important. As I've been developing in these months since May, that's been clear. I needed to take a firm stance, not, be. I think I wrote it later, but I can repeat it then. Don't approach things as, okay, that happened. Now my theme is true, because no, that's doing it wrong. Approach it as, my theme is true, or not my theme, not the thing that you were afraid of. My What I believe is true, therefore what just happened, you know what I mean? So, for example, uh, I don't want to say what my theme is in public, but what my theme was, but let me take an example. For example, I'm gonna harm my brother. You know what I mean? I get thoughts like that. God forbid. Um, okay, I'm not. So I would approach it as, I'm not gonna harm my brother. Therefore, that thought and feeling I just got is just dumb from my brain. It's stupid, or from a devil or something like that. You know what I mean? You reason from that point of view from now on. Also, remember, okay, so also, oh, something I realized, by the way, recently, and I put something on Twitter and I think also Facebook and on Reddit, is, you when you are determined to, you have, basically, when you have to know 100% every time. I need to know, no, I need to ruminate. What did that feeling mean? What did it happen before or after that? That weakens your faith, knowledge, your, I call it your faith muscle. And remember, faith doesn't have to be only in God. It can be, we have faith in many things. We have faith in taxi drivers, and in many things in the world. So when you need to know, no, that strengthens OCD. And but when you have faith, and you firm and you trust, and you build your faith muscle. So the word faith is not only about God. um, and when, stop needing to know every time, like, start being, again, firm. Make a firm decision. Okay, that thought just came to me, I've just been moving past them. Okay, it's okay, all right, whatever. And now I'm today I'm in an even better place than the last day or two. Like, I feel like normal again. um, Normal or very close to it. It's awesome. All right. So if the when you exercise your faith, knowledge, firm decision muscle and refuse I need to know and ruminate, etc., it strengthens your faith muscle, strengthens you against OCD. Be wary of gaslighting thoughts like you are denying the obvious, or you are lying to yourself. When that happens, just think that is a thought itself. Like we sometimes when these things happen to us in your development, when basically when you first started your OCD stuff, like when I first started, when this stuff would happen to me, perhaps I would have been overwhelmed, and then that fear that, oh, that might be true, you trained your brain that might be true, and it comes then with a feeling that it might be true later on. Your brain gets trained, and so much of uh, healing from OCD is CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. You need to retrain your brain. So when that happens, think that's a thought itself, and it melts away, it goes away. Start recognizing that. At first, you may do it a lot, like that's a thought itself, that's a thought itself, that's a thought itself, and it disarms the stuff. You start recognizing, no, those are just thoughts. Thought and bad feeling come. Oh, that's just a thought. Okay, it melts away. You remember it's just a thought. That's it. A thought we have accepted in the past, let it pass as a false thought now, and retrain your brain. Large letters, be confident. I have stopped thinking about feelings and thoughts a lot, just knowing they are just that, not needing to reassure myself. I used to keep reassuring myself in the past. That's what they are. I was firm and confident. When I fell back into thinking that was a thought a lot, so this happened a day or two ago. I was good. Then the next day I was a lot. I started, and it felt good. And I started thinking a lot. That was a thought. That was a thought. That was a thought. I'm not sure if it was um, getting used to that OCD pattern in my brain again, or I was in a OCD brain state type thing. I'm not sure, but it was good. I felt good, and I kept doing it. Yeah, that's a thought. That's a thought. But I kept doing it. You know what I mean? Like a compulsion kind of. You shouldn't even need that. You need to just be firm and confident. But remember something. Be graceful with yourself. Again, even in wow, this video is already 12 minutes plus. Um, Even in your state of being firm and confident, at times you may need to, as part of your training and getting better and healing, think of that like especially if you're reasoning. By the way, like something happens and you need to reason, okay, about something happening. You may need to then, because you might get bad thoughts and feelings during your reasoning, especially, you might have to employ, and it's okay, no, that's just a thought, and then it calms down and you reason. So at times you may need to, don't feel bad about that, but just try to be firm, then not even need to think it's a thought. That's just a thought. That's just a thought. Just be firm. Know it deep inside you. It's okay to reassure yourself at times. That may be normal, but be firm most of the time. You know what they are. Also, I have stopped doing things I needed to redo in the past because of a bad feeling as well, in my firmness and confidence. Being confident is not just for your theme, but other things as well, such as tasks you need to do that OCD can drag out. And then this is where I want to tell you the task I was talking about earlier, outside of my theme. Sometimes when I'm an IT guy, when I do stuff at work, for example, in the past, especially like years ago, I'm talking, I'd get the OCD thoughts and feelings that, oh, what if I did that wrong? And you get that anxiety and check, and I'd have to recheck and recheck and recheck. It was bad. Recently, I've been doing that, and there was a tedious, it was kind of fun, but it was like a repetitive task I had to do. And I noticed that when I was firm and I trusted myself and I resisted those doubting thoughts and feelings, man, it was awesome. I was just trusting, like I would do it, blah 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 blah, just very fast. And if like doubt started to enter, ignore it. I trust myself. I'm trusting. Worst comes to worst, God forbid, we're human. We make mistakes. It's okay. You know what I mean? Everyone makes mistakes. So be confident. And even with tasks outside of your theme that OCD may bother you with, be firm. Be confident. Do it. If you do doubt, don't panic. Doubt is a normal human experience. Normal people doubt. Move forward. Be firm. Also, depending on mental status as well, be flexible if needed. Don't feel bad. I said this before. If certain times you need to think about a thought, you need to think just a thought, but just make a conscious effort to revert to confidence, faith. And then now this stuff below is for earlier stages in healing and can perhaps also help to remember in later stages. So this stuff is maybe in earlier stages. Don't reply in order for something to be true or not true. I said this before. That's magical thinking. If it's, oh no, actually, sorry, I didn't say this before. If it's true, it's true. The truth is the truth, regardless of our thoughts and feelings. And if it's not true, it's not true. Bad thoughts, feelings, you get them. Have faith and ignore it. It goes away easily. Be firm. If I'm saying easily, but I've been developing. You will develop too, God willing. Have faith and ignore it. Goes away so easily. If you are not there yet, it's okay. Keep working on being firm, faithful, trusting. Have faith. Remember the faith knowledge muscle. Stop thinking. This one is the one I said before. Stop thinking if this happens, then what you believe is true. Think what I believe is true, therefore, about the stuff you experience. And if after that and you decide the issue and are content, you get the OCD thought to think about it again because it means the other thing, simply ignore. So when you make a decision about something, oh, that happened because, then you get, it comes back to mind, and ignore it. You made a firm decision, and you'll get used to just ignoring it easily when you're firm. I did it so easily before. As you are firm and confident, this gets so easy, like it was for me just earlier. Yeah. Not sure about others with OCD, but I can think about two. I can think about two things at the same time. Yeah, it's weird. Like, I guess it's the pattern. I forgot what it's called exactly, but we have like the active thing we're thinking about, and we have, like, the brain processes things automatically for automatic tasks. Like, when you drive a million times the same way, you kind of just, like, sometimes you drive home and you don't realize how did I get here already? So I guess it's something to do with that. And sometimes I get thoughts like, I think two things at the same time. Be mindful of this, and don't let it allow you to be bothered if something OCD happens when you do it, when it happens. Like, a lot of times it would bother me when I would be thinking, let's say red is false or something like that, and my thought is thinking, blah blah is true. I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly, or I don't know. Blue is good, and then a bad thought comes in my mind, and then it would be like, wait, you're saying that bad thing is good? You get what I mean? So I'm sure it probably happens with a lot of you guys too. Don't let that bother you. Ignore it. Be mindful of it and ignore it. And when you're firm and when you're firm, it'll help. Observe yourself and how your mind brain works with things not having to do with your theme. I said that already. How you know other things you don't have a theme about. Right. Observe how you just know other things you don't have a theme about. That's the goal. That is how you want to be with your theme topic. Don't reason from anxious, or I think I said this, anxious or with OCD brain state. At times, strong emotions may come upon you. Don't panic. Relax. Realize you have OCD. Let it pass. When you do get concrete evidence, don't let that shift your brain into always need 100% proof mode. Remember that. You need to be firm, evidence-based faith muscle. When reasoning, and just know, be firm. When reasoning and helping ourselves in our own brain, we sometimes get negative or doubt feelings and or thoughts. Just ignore those. You have a malfunctioning brain. And also don't know what is going on subconsciously because of that malfunctioning brain and or the way you trained your brain in the past. That's very important. I'm 42. I've had, we train our brains in ways and they become reflex. So at times maybe we don't realize why our brain acts in a certain way or goes right to a feeling maybe, or you know what I mean? So be mindful of that. Had bad feelings before, you don't have to go back and think about them or why. Keep your mind made up and move forward in faith, trust. It comes, okay, let it pass. Be firm. Be aware of your thinking and doubt creeping in. Stop it quick when you recognize it. Trust, believe, keep the faith, trust muscle strong. You are not a walking mat for your OCD. When the thoughts start coming, think over them. At times, like I've felt thoughts starting to come, I'd think something over it. Like, you know what I mean? Think good, positive things forcefully if you need to. Not in fear, obviously, or doubt, in confidence. Special moments come up to test your faith and trust muscle. Take them. Don't give in to OCD. Strengthen your faith trust muscle. Don't follow your feelings. Sometimes move forward with decision, faith, trust, and feelings will follow. That's actually a great thing. Sometimes you make a decision for something. I trust. Your feelings may not be there, but you're making a decision, and the feelings will follow. You have to retrain your brain. Even if you fall in doubt, trust again. Train your mind to go back to trust. Let it be a new reflex for you, new reflex thought. Train it to go back to trust. New thinking pattern. Get a thought that something that happened is proof. Just realize, nope, just a thought. Ignore it. And also, it's not 50% this, 50% this. Remember, when you're thinking of stuff, it's 100% something or the other. Like, for example, the example I gave earlier, it's if I get a thought about hurting my brother, God forbid, it's 100%. It's not 50. We reason that way, but it's 100% something that helps you to also to think of it that way. It's either a devil put that thought in my brain, or it was just my brain. I have a malfunctioning brain. Also think and be firm. I have been bullheaded. Yeah, at times I'm decided to trust God with all my heart like a child and be bullheaded, and it's been awesome. What you believe and know to be true. Ignore all the Also think and be firm. What you believe and know to be true. Ignore all the OCD garbage. It may feel like it's still there and you get thoughts, but as you ignore, they get less severe. At times it hurts and feels bad, wrong going against our feelings or of doubt. And by the way, I wrote this, I think, before I started thinking that's just a thought, that's just a thought. So this may be for early in your healing, but don't give in, just ignore it. Remember the horrible OCD cycles if you have to. That is a horrible dead end or round end, if you will, the OCD cycle. Yeah, so, and I wrote that, by the way, that part about the feelings and thoughts, feelings of doubt. At times it hurts and feels bad, wrong, going against our feelings of doubt. But, and I wrote that before I started thinking it's just a thought. Realizing when that stuff happens that it's just a thought is so helpful. But get beyond that also. Be firm and don't even need to actively think it. Just know it in you. Also move forward with that also move forward that the subject of your theme is just not possible, not true, period, end of story. You need to be firm. What's it called? So you make your decision based on evidence, based on scientific knowledge, based on whatever you need to do it, and be firm. And me, I've done it based on knowledge of miracles in my own life and others. For me, because it was about God, and obviously faith, and based on faith, evidence of knowledge, miracles, evidence of other things like evidence for the Lord Jesus and the Bible. Okay, so when weird stuff with OCD happens, don't think, well, this doesn't mean my theme because it could be this or this. Just ignore it and think of what you believe with no compromise. Think of what you need to and know as proof if you want to as well. This I probably wrote a while ago when I wasn't in a as good a state as I am now. Again, it's better to just think what I'm believing is true, therefore. So you might perhaps use that early in your healing, but it's probably better to just do what I said. Believe yourself, what you believe, be firm. What I believe is true, therefore. When thinking of encouraging yourself in your belief again, just know it, bullheaded. Don't feel you have to think of every proof, evidence you have just to feel good. By all means, encourage yourself if you want to, but in general, just know it. Tempted to ruminate? No, be bullheaded. What I believe is true, have faith, etc. Almost done here. Teach your brain new things. Brain tell you deceiving yourself, teach it no. Remember, that's a thought. You didn't think about that long enough? No. CBT, retrain your brain. You start to recognize the OCD fast, and you can drop it, whether it's about your theme or not. Sometimes stuff not about my theme. I've recognized OCD coming, like the feeling. Drop it. Try not to think of it in that state, the stuff whether about your theme or not. Think it's just a thought or feeling, if you have to let it calm down. Get those thoughts and feelings equals drop. So you get the bad thoughts or feelings, drop it. Just recognize it's a thought and feeling, and and just be firm. That's the best advice I can give you. I'm awesome right now. I want you guys to be awesome too. It's been awesome, man, because it's amazing the stuff I've been through since May. It's a lot of stuff. I outside my, but not only internal mind body, but stuff happening around me. It's really been crazy. I think honestly that God did that on purpose to get me to trust Him more and to have radical childlike faith in Him, and to be where I'm at now, and also to learn stuff, I believe, to help others. And I'm such in a good place, thank God. And anyway, if you guys want to talk to me, I'm on Twitter, at Chinchilla Lip, and you can follow me. And I don't always get notifications, I think, for people following me. So if you follow me and I don't follow you back, maybe ping me, send me a post, at Chinchilla Lip, I followed you. Can we DM or something like that if you want to talk? And yeah, I really hope this helps you guys and many people, because, man, I wish you guys could see where I was at in 2022, 23, and even 24. Even until this year, until May. May was awesome. And then since then, I've learned so much. I'm so much better than May right now. Thank God. And love you guys. And yeah, have a great night, and DM me if you want.